Welcome, adventurers from across time and space. 5 creators have been brought together from across the internet for one purpose and one purpose alone: to travel through time and have a good time doing it. When big changes happen to the timeline, the change attracts other time travelers like gravity. They won't be able to move past it until they fix whatever was messed up. So our heroes are stuck together, but only for the time being. Welcome back to For the Time Being. I am Ansel, your game master, and I am so excited to have you back for episode 2 as we continue our character creation process. We have some incredible characters already coming together, and this process does, as I mentioned in episode 1, require a little bit of like open interpretation. It's very tarot-esque in that regard. And so as we draw the cards and reveal their faces, the players are asked to interpret based upon the suits that they're receiving and the numbers that are revealed, or based upon the suits that they're seeing and the numbers that they're revealing. And each one of those is going to give them different ideas, and there are no wrong answers. But there are some things that we help to guide with. And as you've heard already, and as you'll continue to hear, those 4 suits I'll break down today are clubs, spades, hearts, and diamonds. Generally speaking, we think of clubs as being our laborers, those who work with their hands and work with raw materials and turn those raw materials into goods that can be used by other people. Hearts, on the other hand, we look at as people who look to a higher power for their abilities, whether that be praying in a church, or if you think in a more fantastical way, people who get magical powers through either relationships or contracts with beings from another dimension or from a higher plane. Those are our hearts. Diamonds represent those who trade and those who are artisans. So they're taking the materials that are created by folks like our clubs and turning them into refined goods. So we're thinking about jewelers, tailors, artists, folks like that. And then finally are our spades. Those are our warlike people, generally speaking. They're going to be those who look to conflict as their first line of reasoning. And as you listen and continue to enjoy our character creation, I hope that you can see how those 4 aspects fold their way into these backstories and help our players to interpret the cards that they're getting. Last we checked in with Omar, he was working on Whiskers, the cat pharaoh, who has a nemesis. So our next card, we're going to continue around clockwise from at this point. So move to the top right card for your Demeanor. This gets the same mark as the previous one, and this should tell you about how you present yourself to the world. So what is the layer of artifice that is placed on top of that true nature, that shiny selfishness?
I was hoping for another diamond, but 4 of spades.
Ooh, okay. Spades are usually warlike people who fight or make a business of getting into quarrels. So professional soldiers, lawyers, people who argue or quarrel or fight as a means to an end consistently. I think it's really interesting to have that as a Demeanor card if you decide to go that direction.
Oh, totally, because he was a... I wouldn't say he was maybe he was a tyrant-ish like king. He probably wasn't. Maybe the other feline nemesis was actually a good person, and I was more of a tyrannical pharaoh.
You were the evil one.
I was the evil one. It was more like I was Emotep.
We're getting some pretty strong Emotep vibes.
I was that pharaoh apparently. That.
Do you think you had like a strongman thing going on where it was like, I'm warlike, I will go to war all the time, war, and then you like
yeah,
never backed it up or whatever?
like Xerxes from ancient from Greek
Mm-hmm.
and Roman, that the whole 300
Yeah.
with King Xerxes, how he was just very warlike from the Persians, and just went out and just tried to conquer, because it was Persia's right to rule the world. As so he feels as well. It was in this version of Egypt, it was his right to rule the world. So he went out there and just said, take him over. It's like, either you'll come peacefully, or and much to his smile, he would prefer you go kicking and screaming, and he'll play with you like a little cat toy, in a sense.
There it is. Oh, I like that. That's good. In our first 2 cards with Ben, we learned about his hard-bitten 70s New York cop. Let's continue on to the next card, which will be your Demeanor, top right. We're going clockwise around the circle.
So that is a King of Clover.
Ooh, wow. Look at you with all the faces all of a sudden. All right, so King of Clubs. Clubs
Yeah.
are like laborers. So we think of like farmers, potters, millers, blacksmiths.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're in 1970s New York, maybe your fishmongers and your street sweepers. But these are people who labor with their hands or make base goods. As to be compared with our diamonds, who are going to be people who refine base goods. So like if the weavers are clubs, the tailors are diamonds. Again, as much as you want to work with that. So that is the general like breakdown of that. But I like the idea of a king of laborers.
Yeah, I think he is kind of a man of the people, or at least wants to be like a champion of the people. He's not doing it for like fame, but he just wants to help, and he's seen how the system has oppressed others. And yeah, and like you said, laborers, I think he probably comes from a line of maybe his dad, grandfather was also in like the police work, and so he's just like, get down, gotta do it. And it's kind of become like a symbol, even though he probably doesn't want to be or seen as that, but people around the way in his neighborhood know that, hey, this is the guy you can trust. He's going to get down, he's going to do the work, he's going to help out.
Yeah, I like it. And that's I also like that it's in your Demeanor spot. So like, this is the face you show to the world too. Like, you're presenting as a folk hero. Yeah, that's cool. Folk hero. Nice. Falling Through Time should be very interesting for you. Our first session with Sarah established her Golden Age starlet who explores the Hollow Earth. Sarah, let's continue onward, since that was an easy one. Next will be...
It's a 9 of spades.
9 of spades, man.
Let me make sure that... Okay, next one is not a spade. Just checking. I wanted to make sure, because it was hard to shuffle these babies.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, luckily it doesn't matter, so...
Sure.
So this is your Demeanor card. This is about who you present to the world. How you wish to be perceived, how good you are at presenting that illusion.
Oh, okay. This is another backstory situation?
Yeah, same mark. Yep. And same effect.
Oh, great.
Got some good spades in there. So what do you think this tells you about your demeanor and how you present to the world? I mean, obviously you're a time traveler, so you got that something going on.
I mean, I think this is probably the one that she leans into her importance to get her way in situations.
Oh.
I think this is the don't you know who I am, though? Like, I'm in all of the films. I'm important.
Have you seen Edge of Tomorrow? Tom Cruise?
Yes.
I get like that vibe from what you're talking about, where he's like, yeah, he has this military rank, quote unquote, but is in fact just a media personality. Do you think you have like a fake captaincy or something?
Yeah, I think so. I think I have a military rank in the same way that like Donald Duck has a naval rank.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
And I have the uniform and like I've got all the trappings.
Yeah.
I think it's just like I never like did any of the tests.
But you are a badass, so you can back it up. You just never had to.
I never had to. Yeah, and I think backing it up is different than like knowing procedure.
Oh, yeah. That's a good distinction.
Like
yeah.
I absolutely could back up, like if you drop me in the middle of a jungle, I could find my way back out. But like I don't really have any idea who to like report to. Yeah. I can shoot a gun and I can build a snare with rope, but like I don't know how to like make the bed the way you want me to make it, because it's not.
Someone else is gonna have to do those requisition forms.
Yeah, I don't know what this says. I've never seen a form in my life. I don't fill any of those
Boot
out.
camp, don't know her.
Don't know her.
I think.
No, I went to my dad's boot camp, which is probably way fucking worse.
Yeah. Nobody put you out in the woods and left you to survive.
No. My dad dropped me out of every vehicle that there is. And then told me to find my way home. So
your dad said tuck and roll when he meant I love you?
Yeah. I mean, there was boats, there was planes, land vehicles. Pushed me off a bicycle once. It's all of them.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean not everybody wears a parachute whenever they get on any airplane? I thought that was standard.
Yeah. Definitely out of Zeppelin one time. Yeah.
I want that to be one of your bragging rights. I've fallen out. I've been pushed out of every mode of transportation.
Everything. Yeah, for sure. Which means at some point I had to have fallen out of the time machine as well.
Oh, fallen into the time stream. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Whoops. That's all right. It's just like normal. Dad would just have me find my way back. This is not a big deal.
You got this right. Woof. Amazing.
It's like you just like find pieces of me throughout history, like find like that notes I left of like, nah, shit, I'm here now. Figured out a way out. Rebuilt the time machine. It's fine. We're good.
Dear Dad,
yeah.
Elizabethan London is super cool. I'm still mad I'm here.
Still pretty pissed. Very much miss indoor plumbing.
And the right to vote.
I didn't ever use it, but that's different.
It's a different problem.
Different problem.
It's good to know that you can.
Right.
When we left Stella, we were diving into her alien explorer from another galaxy. So your next card, the top right, will conversely represent your demeanor. So this is how you present yourself to the world, the face you put on.
All right. It is a 10 of clubs.
10 of clubs. Okay. Clubs generally represent laborers, people who create base material. So if you, going back to that diamond metaphor, instead of a tailor who is making finished garments, you might be a weaver who is making fabric. So we think about blacksmiths, farmers, people who make things with their hands and the raw material of the world around them. That could also extend to like low magics and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah. What mark is that? Sorry.
Oh, it's going to be the same mark as the one before. Then all four of these outside ones are going to have the same.
Oh, okay. Mark. So these are all backstory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
So the first one. Okay. I have a bad memory, so I have to make detailed notes for my brain. The first one was
please
up
go ahead.
left, and that signifies your
nature.
And then this is upright, and that signifies how you present to the world.
Your demeanor, yes.
Ah. I could have wrote demeanor instead of this whole sentence.
That sounds less fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's sort of interesting, right? To have like my background is the like tailor, but my how I present and like that does go hand in hand to the like I just want to take this stuff apart because it's like no, this is what I'm doing.
I am just a humble space alien, and what I'm gonna do is take this apart. That's what I'm gonna do.
Like,
I don't know.
Did I come from royalty? Maybe we don't have to talk about it. I'm covered in grease.
There's no way that's coming up.
Yeah.
Throw mud on your face.
Yeah, right. So that makes sense too. Also, if I'm like an alien and other people are maybe of Earth, it could be seen maybe as like a little hyper focused in a way that maybe comes off as like rude, but isn't meant to be rude because I'm just like very like, this is what I do.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Unknowable.
Yeah.
And
not like in a Spock way, but more in like a annoying curiosity way. But not annoying. I don't want to play an annoying character, but do you know what I mean?
No. I'm trying to think of like there's a character on the tip of my brain who did exactly that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like in a it depends truly on what era you're reading her in, but like a Starfire, like she's from an alien planet.
Yeah.
And she has this like kind of childlike nature, but she's actually like a princess who like grew up in like a prison camp and has like all these depths, but she presents to the world as like, no, I'm positive and I want to help people, and like she like fights the past a little bit in the way that she presents herself, which I like, but she can come off as being like really naive and stupid.
Yeah.
But she's actually brilliant. Classic twist.
I like that metaphor. I like that equivalency.
Apparently I'll be
Starfire's
relating everything to DC Comics tonight.
You're entitled.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Anything else you want to explore about that demeanor?
I don't think so right now.
All
right, so the next card we're going to draw is your fortune card. This one you don't need to worry so much about the suit. We're looking mostly at the number, just to see, like, how good has life been to you? Pretty freaking nice. Okay, yeah, that king tells us a lot of good stuff. All right, so we've had it pretty good, aside from getting kicked out of vehicles and stuff.
Yeah, but it made me real tough.
Yeah. He always got you ice cream afterward.
He did. Does this have a...
Same mark, yep.
Jesus. All right, well. Fortune is good.
Yeah.
High.
Yep, very lucky. Now, if you want to interpret the suit at all, that was a diamond, right?
Yes.
Diamonds, we generally think of merchants, traders, and artisans. So people who refine goods made by other hands into a higher form, right? So, like, if we think of weavers as being crafters, then tailors would be artisans.
Got it.
So if you want to think about like transferring goods or heightening goods, or I think that also feeds into what you've been talking about. But you could maybe add an additional layer or wrinkle to it if you wanted to. Something about like how you produce your films or newsreels or whatever.
Can she be married to the director?
Ooh. Does he travel with you? This is not a conditional on yes or no. The answer is yes. I'm just asking questions.
I think it depends. I think he's very soft. I think he's a soft, pampered boy. And so I think maybe he's not the director. Maybe he is the producer.
Ooh.
Maybe he's the money.
The money guy.
And I think that they have a decent relationship. I don't think that it's terribly passionate. But I think it's one of those, like, it is mutually beneficial for both of them. He gets to tell everyone he's married to me and produce these things, and I get to be in them and have my face everywhere as a starlet. Plus, with him being very soft and moneyed, probably, no one is pushing me out of vehicles anymore unless I'm getting highly paid for it.
Which is a big improvement, all things considered.
It's a huge step up for me, I think. But I took it literally as, like, got a big old
king
rock.
of diamonds. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Maybe his family money comes from, like, diamond money.
You think he's a De Beer?
Something like that, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah. He's probably gay.
Lots of people are.
Yep. I think we're not sure that she's
not. I was going to say, I have a feeling she's going to be, so.
He's probably very open to many opportunities, I think. So.
I think once you're both gay, it circles back around to working.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we continue to the next card down, this is going to be your fortune.
All right, that is... Wow, another face card. That is the Queen of Clubs.
Wow. I don't know how much you want to read into the suit on a fortune card. I mean, being clubs, this is, again, that would put you back in laborer or thinking about laborers. But yeah, the Queen definitely suggests that maybe fortune has been kinder to you than other laborers. Maybe you're thinking about your forebears. Maybe you've done better than them, or fortune has treated you more nicely anyway.
I think I've gotten out of scrapes I probably shouldn't have in the past.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, you've collected fewer injuries than maybe you should have. The next is your fortune. So this is going to be the bottom right. Again, we're continuing clockwise. This card is defining just how lucky you've been up till now. Are you doing well, or are you just scraping by? Have you found your people, or are you still seeking?
That one is the 10 of spades.
Okay. Again, spades represents fighters, warriors, gladiators. A 10, that's a pretty decent value. Seems like the war life has been good to you.
Oh, yes.
Or you just keep getting lucky.
I would say I was very lucky.
Magooing your way through combat all the time.
Yeah, I think so. Just like with Cat Like Grace, because I don't see him as a very strong fighter himself, more of a tactician, and he just kind of sees everything, puts everything slows down, and let's say he knocks over one bottle, which then causes a cascading effect of all different things that he was like, and exactly as I planned, and a kind of way, and it's all like to win in a battle. Because in ancient Egypt, Egyptians were very powerful warriors, and they were warlike. So he kind of has that, like, war is inevitable, and I will win it kind of sense. Using his mind, other people can have their brawn. He controls them.
Okay. To carry on, then, bottom right.
Oh,
this will be your fortune.
Ace of Hearts.
Same mark as before. Ace of Hearts. Ooh. We're gonna do all of the suits, it seems.
Yeah, I was just one of each.
Yep, one of each. The hearts generally represent those who pray or those who worship. So this could mean religion in the, like, traditional sense. This could be like a warlock patron situation. Mm-hmm. This could also just be like, maybe you're beholden to a king or a mayor or something, and you get your you derive your identity or something from their service. But being that this is your fortune card, you don't really need to worry too much about what the suit tells you. The big thing is, how lucky have you been? And in this case, an ace tells me you've been pretty freaking lucky so far. Fate and karma have been kind to you, Mr. Alien friend.
Okay, cool. I sort of like instinctually like what you were saying about like the like kind of, you know, the comparison to the warlock patron thing, because like theoretically we don't know where this will come up with a different name for it. Theta beam is coming from or why it's happening, and I can't control it. I don't know anything. So that could be, you know, an like you said, it's the fortune, so I don't have to totally.
There's a higher being or a power that is.
I'm just like, I don't know,
imposing this on you. Yeah. But so far it's been good. Yeah. How do you think you've benefited from it? Aside from just like warm fuzzies, do you think like you bring back stuff or power or ability?
Well, I think definitely knowledge, right? Again, I am not trying to just like totally rip off whatever, but like for instance in Saga of Swamp Thing, Adam Strange uses his like knowledge to help Swamp Thing like regreen the earth or whatever. So maybe it's like that could be interesting. Also going with the like Starfire thing, maybe there's like some, and the sickness thing, right? What was the cartomancy of the 8 of clubs thing, sickness thing? Like maybe there's like something awful on my planet and I was trying to help to fix it or whatever, and now I am in this push and pull.
And or tell me if this is too much, maybe you have some crazy space cancer, and when you're zooped away from your home planet you're not affected. If it's like a Deadpool or
like a Jane Foster Thor.
Jane Foster Thor, that was the one I was trying to get to.
I think it should be either or. Either is fine. But I mean, it might probably be more simplistic if it was just me, right? Like when I'm whisked away type deal.
Or maybe everyone on your home planet has this terrible affliction and you're like taking steps towards fixing it every time you journey away.
Yeah, we could do something like that. Or not, maybe not everybody has it, but it's like, let's make a pandemic story.
Well, it could also be like a dying star or something like that, you know, so it's not like a sickness, but like there is a present existential threat that you are taking steps towards repairing.
It's a Romulus situation. Got it. We're just making all of the references.
There's that. Yeah.
This is my pitch to prove to everyone that I'm really nerdy. I get all the references. I know them all. But I mean, that's not terrible. There's like a Romulus situation where it's like, I maybe prayed to some deity. We can work that out. Who has become this like theta beam giver or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe like obviously there's like whatever the party quest is, right? But maybe the ongoing quest for like me as an individual is like every time whatever sends me someplace, there is a key to help or whatever.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential there, especially as you think more about like what you want the threat to be. Because you could also play with like, do you always go back to the same time and have to redo like the same?
It's a double time travel. What if it's like Inception? Well, not Inception, but what if it's like a double time travel? Like like I time travel to Earth, a dimension or like whatever. I time travel to Earth to whatever scenario you as the Overlord put us in, and then every time I go back to X planet, it's like at the beginning of like the cycle or whatever,
the destruction event or whatever. And you're gonna do it different this time.
Oh man, that would be really horrible. That's horrible.
That needs to be a movie by itself. I don't know that you can do that as a side quest off camera thing. Oh yeah, well I gotta relive the same week again. Maybe the sun won't blow up this time. Bye guys.
See you next time. That's pretty horrible, though.
If you don't see me around, it's because I saved everyone or died. Who knows?
Yeah, but theoretically, I die every time, and then I just get whisked away. Maybe this is hell.
Oh. Yeah. Edge of Tomorrow. That was the movie. Tom Cruise.
I don't think I saw that one, but yeah, sure. That
It's good. It's good. We covered it for Time to Party a couple months ago.
Yeah, so it's something. I think that we can think about it more because maybe it can't be like super catastrophic, but it could also be something small too, right? Like again, we're doing all of the references. Like a Leonard McCoy thing where like he tried to save his dad.
Oh yeah.
Right? But then he killed his dad, and then like 2 days later there was like a cure or whatever. So like maybe it's like I have a really personal stake in saving something or someone, and the time is running out.
That's cool too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah. I like the idea of a crisis at home, whatever that crisis turns out to be. I think that's a cool.
Yeah, and that's a cool internal
motivator.
battle too of like, okay, I want to help solve this problem and be a team and whatever, but also like, oh fuck. How does
the clock may or may not be ticking.
we don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to build a character that's like all about herself. That's not what I'm trying to do.
I don't. Everybody in this party is going to be heavily motivated. Okay. It's a bunch of like content creators and DMs, so you don't worry. You'll have plenty of other people button their ideas in.
Okay, yeah. So I want to think about that more, but there is some like unnamed deity who's helping me to solve a problem at home through the lens of Earth shenanigans for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Something these Earthlings can teach you.
Theoretically. Okay.
All right, so the last card in this spread is your training card.
Okay.
And this is the bottom left. This is going to indicate what you were trained in, who you received it from, perhaps, maybe the impact that it has on you. Feel free to sort of play around with what it means to you. But yeah, so this represents your how much you've been affected by the experts and grown-ups that brought you up.
So that is a Jack of Clubs.
Jack of Clubs. All right. So back to our laborers. In fact, do you have all 3 face cards from the clubs?
Yeah.
Amazing. That's your suit. That is your suit.
Yeah, that obviously it is. So I am definitely of the people.
Yeah. What class? Working class.
Yeah.
Great. Well then, yeah. I mean, what do you think that says about your training? Do you want to tie it to a person or maybe an institution or a quality? Maybe all 3.
I'm thinking, since it's a Jack, kind of relaying that back to the fortune being the queen. So I've kind of gotten by on like street smarts, and so maybe that's another reason why I'm not like, I'm kind of over it, is because like as time goes on, things are getting a little bit more procedural in like the precinct or in the police work. We got to make sure that all the dots are crossed and T's are crossed and everything like that. And I'm kind of like, back in the old days, you saw him, you got him, job well done, nobody got hurt, and so I've like, I think, yeah, the Jack or like the Knave, I've kind of like figured out how to do things on my own that maybe not be by the book that they're writing and building as we're going, but with luck and fortune, I have kind of skated through and I get the job done. But
I like that concept. Yeah. So you've learned well, but you've also learned maybe a little askew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That's a really good interpretation. I like it. Anything else you want to tease out about that right now? All right, and then our last card of the spread, the only one that's still face down, so no suspense there, the bottom left. This is your training card. This is, once again, going to get that backstory mark updated to the core card name, for those of you listening with the updated rules. The core card, so this one is going to define the quality of training you received, maybe who you got it from, or the impact it had on you. So what did we get for this card?
The King of Hearts.
King of Hearts. Excellent. We haven't had a heart yet in this one. That's exciting. And I think, being a pharaoh, you'll like this one. The heart, generally, we divine as being related to those who worship, those who pray, those who get their power from a higher being. So whether it is, a peasant who gets their power from their king, or a priest who gets their power from a god, or a warlock who gets it from a patron, this is someone who beseeches a higher power for the capabilities that they have. Potentially, again, up to you.
So just a higher power. How supernatural are we going here?
You can go as supernatural as you want. The beauty of this setting is that each of you brings your own little zhuzh to it, and we're just going to put it in a cement mixer. So if you want to do magic, you can totally do magic.
I would say more like minor presentations. I wouldn't say he's a full-on wizard or something like that, but he does, as the ancient pharaohs and as the pharaohs in ancient Egypt, have this kind of connection. They were either a descendant and or reincarnation of Ra, or a reincarnation of any of the Egyptian gods, Horus. I would say. Maybe, I mean, I don't want to be too on the nose. I won't say Bastet, which is like a cat god. Like maybe he's descended or somehow connected to that and gets maybe prolific dreams.
And this is your training card. So I wonder if an aspect of Bastet has trained you to be who you are, or if you were trained to become an aspect of Bastet. That's how you got your capacity. What do you think is the training element of this? This is something you learned.
I learned to use his mind in his ingenuity to twist any situation to his advantage. He can
sure.
I would say, because he's not very. I mean, because the pharaohs do need to learn and be very skilled with the many different weapons. So I would say he would train in the weapons, but his main primary focus was trying to outwit and use his opponent's weaknesses against them. So much on like a high level that like he's a genius in a sense, like a prodigy of sense, like an otherworldly. He can see things basically almost before it happens by using, all right, the wind's blowing that way, that person's walking over there, so probabilities of this happening is 93%. Go. And something that a normal person could not calculate. His brain works like a computer, and he can figure out things very easily. So if he was in a party, he would be the one to be the detective. But he's very snarky about it, and I would say he knows he has that ability over everyone else, but it's more like a matter of fact, such as like, of course it was the butler who did it, obviously, and then lists a whole bunch of things that no one would get. It's child's play. Please keep up.
You couldn't even have been in the room for that. Being in the room is so gauche.
Exactly.
Got a 6 of hearts.
6 of hearts. Okay, so hearts we generally associate with those who look to higher powers. So that can be religion, that can be authorities, that can be like warlocks and clerics, if you want to get into that kind of nonsense.
Interesting.
So Yeah, so those who look outside of themselves for their ability and power. Or if you want to take the medieval approach, those who pray.
So what about the studio?
Oh.
What if she's in, like, the studio system, and that is what runs everybody?
I think that makes really good sense. And, like, the studio system would have been what trained you up into who you are. You know, aside from a badass who can be kicked out of any moving vehicle.
Not from my dad who keeps shoving me out of vehicles. They probably thanked him. They were probably like, thanks, man. Yeah. Like,
this one's
made our job easier.
This one will let us do whatever we want. It's amazing.
It's great.
She has no standards. That's what we like.
Yep.
Too much Hollywood commentary or just enough?
Yeah, the correct amount. She does keep asking for more money, but that's fine. We keep giving it to her.
Money's money.
We have so much of it. Just like Scrooge McDuck piles that we just roll around.
Our studio is a town that we bought. We bought a town and turned it into a studio. I think we're doing okay.
100%. Yeah. This is like the Disney town of studios.
Yeah, definitely. I'm picturing the Paramount lot in my head from what movie was that? Hail Caesar?
Yes. Or it's a little Three Amigos where they just have the Amigos are out of the mansion. Like, they just... Is this that same
mark? Yes.
Same mark?
We are finally going to change it up after this one, though.
All right. So little trees.
Yep.
No more trees for you.
No more trees. You've done your trees.
I've got about a mountain and 4 trees.
4 trees.
Jack of Spades.
Spades goes back to the warlike, argumentative characters. So this will echo a little bit of your, was it your nature?
Yeah.
Standing up for something.
I mean, it also, I feel like, goes hand in hand with what we just talked about, too. Of, like, having a focus, right? Training to solve a problem. Mm-hmm, we don't know what the problem is yet, because I have to think about it.
But yeah, if you've been constantly, like, learning more and more about how to solve this issue, I think that, that's your fight. That's your struggle. Yeah. And maybe it's political. Who knows? There's a lot of options.
Yeah. A lot of options. Yeah, I got to think about it. But I like that. Yeah. I feel like that weaves all of them together.
Stella Cheeks is at Stella Cheeks on Instagram and Blue Sky. Sarah Moore is at Pixies and Pins on all of the social media channels and at pixiesandpins.com. You can also check out her Sarah's Table live streams on Twitch at Pixies and Pins. Omar Burgos is at Tailweaver. Check out his work on the Tale of D20's TTRPG channel. More information at ataleofd20s.com. Ben Banks is at DJ_Blindian on Instagram and SoundCloud. I'm Ansel Birch, and you can find me at The Indecisionist on all of the meta properties and on Blue Sky. Special thanks to Cameron Avesk Davis for the song you're hearing now and at the beginning of the podcast. This has been an Indecisionist production. Go to indecisionist.com to find more of our work, including my monthly gaming event, TTRPG Pickup Con, and my other time travel podcast, Time to Party. As you travel at 1 second per second, take some time out for these intrepid adventurers. They may be in trouble, but only for the time being.